And we're starting out with an article here on climate. So I don't know what I clicked on there. Let's get this party started, right? Let's get this party started quickly, right? 400,000 years ago, it looks like permafrost may have thawed when temperatures were not much higher than today. Oh, noes, the permafrost. The permafrost could melt, folks. Oh my God, are you scared? Are you scared and spooked by this? Cave deposits reveal Pleistocene permafrost thaw absent predicted levels of CO2 release. Now, if you're frightened of CO2, please leave us a comment. Leave us a comment if you believe carbon dioxide is a pollutant. By the way, CO2 is not a pollutant and should not be removed from the atmosphere, as it's the basis of all earthly food chains. Maybe not for extremophiles, but for the rest of the planet. Photosynthesis lies at the base of all major global food chains. Carbon dioxide would optimally be at about 1,200 parts per million, does not control the climate. But lots of people are very worried. So here's an article from SciTech Daily about, oh my God, cave deposits reveal permafrost thawed 400,000 years ago when temperatures were not much higher than today. Let's talk about when temperatures were not much higher than today. 33 million years ago. 33 million years ago are when the Antarctic ice sheets began to form. Guess how hot the Earth was back then 33 million years ago? It was 3 degrees Celsius warmer than it is today. 3 degrees Celsius warmer when Antarctica began to glaciate. Which brings me to this next chart. If you've got people who are complete climate invalids, who know absolutely nothing about the geologic record, notice how the current trend is the lowest temperatures since 300 million years ago and the lowest levels of carbon dioxide since 300 million years ago. Way up here, right about there, is where Antarctica started to form. And you can see how much warmer global temperatures were when Antarctica started to form its ice sheets. This is actually showing 10 degrees warmer, so it's probably more like in this area when Antarctica's ice sheets started to form. Anyway, they started to form about 33 million years ago. And you can see from this chart that there is clearly zero correlation and zero causality between atmospheric CO2 and global temperatures. CO2 is a trace gas, and it makes up 0.04% of the atmosphere. Speaking of the atmosphere, here's nullschool.net's jet stream imagery. It's the 250 hectopascal winds. Here are the surface winds of the eastern world. Since we showed you the jet streams of the eastern world, there are the surface winds. And we've got actually a windy environment here around the southern geographic pole. See pretty heavy winds all around Antarctica. Antarctica in many ways is the nexus of weather on the planet, folks. And maybe we'll do a special video just about that. As the coldest place on the planet is relevant. Here are the surface winds of the western world. We've got windy conditions in the North Atlantic once again. Here are the 250 hectopascal winds, otherwise known as the jet streams. And we've got some major kinks in the jet stream here, some hot air being injected from Mexico into Texas with this meridional jet stream flow right here. Look at this 180-degree bend over only about 500 miles there. Anyway, that's the jet stream. Here's the lightning situation. And we're on lightningmaps.org. It's where I go when I hear thunder. We've got extremely active lightning here. South of Mexico and in southern Texas. Also some off the coast of Corpus Christi. Here's the global lightning map. Again, lightningmaps.org is a real-time lightning map. It'll even show you the likely propagation of thunder. Convince your friends and foes that you're Thor. And we saw an errant lightning bolt in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, folks. Check it out. And here's the GOES lightning mapper. Let's speed it up a little bit. Can I speed it up a little bit? I think there's a way. I don't want to mess with it. Anyway, there's the lightning mapper. We're going back like about 5 hours here, I think. So quite a lot of lightning there in northern Mexico and especially southern Texas. A little bit at the bottom of the Texas stovepipe as well. Check out this phys.org article. Now, phys.org's Earth section is rife with sharticles. And here's a hilarious one. Model could create hurricane forecasts up to 18 months in advance. Well, I would just like to take the opportunity to state that you can forecast anything. The question is, will it be correct? What an idiotic idea. We're going to forecast hurricanes 18 months in advance. So, as you may know, mankind can't even forecast the weather 3 days in advance. But now this ridiculous North Carolina State University research published projected forecasts 18 months in advance. What a joke. Like so many articles in the phys.org's Earth section, rife with crap. Let's scroll down the list. Oh my God, Antarctic ice sheet melting to lift sea level higher than thought, study says. This is my favorite, though. Let's talk about racism in science. How about devolution? The de-evolution, the backward evolution of mankind. You're seeing it happen. So at the same time that part of the human species is evolving and becoming smarter and more sophisticated, a large portion of it is becoming dumber and fully idiotic. The de-evolution of mankind. Speaking of the de-evolution of mankind, how about this article from phys.org's Earth section? Geologists call for action on tackling racial inequality in field. And what they're talking about here is that they need more people of color to become geologists and so on, which, by the way, is racism. Because suggesting that we need more of one race or another race to do anything, as opposed to people doing things because they choose to based on their merit and their skill, talent, and training, is racism. Because it's to suggest that, oh no, we don't have enough Somalian geologists. That is racism. Because what you're saying is that Somalian geologists are more valuable based on the fact that they're Somalian, which means, in effect, that all other races are inferior to Somalian geologists, which is racism. This nonsense about diversity being our strength is just ridiculous. And trying to urge people to take up a field they would not have other taken up is nonsense also. What a pile of crap. Geoscientists call for action on tackling racial inequality in field. Well done. Well done. I'll scroll the article in case any of you would like to pause the video and lose an IQ point by reading this crap. Let's take a look at high seas. And we've got high seas. We're looking at waves right now. And check out how wavy the southern oceans are. The area around Antarctica are not fit for man nor beast right now. And those turbulent winds in the North Atlantic as well as the North Pacific causing some high seas up there as well. Let's take a look. 15-foot seas. 15-foot seas there south of that low pressure system. And we'll advance this. This is the Euro forecast for waves and pressure. The ISO lines there are the pressure. There's where we expect pressure and waves to be tomorrow at noon Eastern Daylight Time. Next, looking at the U.S. Doppler radar map, and you can see those heavy storms stagnating as we forecasted in southern Texas. Yowzers. Some snow continuing to fall. It's May, folks, and snow is falling in northern Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire. Looks like some freezing rain falling in Massachusetts as well. Apparently the planet is so hot that it's cold. Here's the NASA GOES Interactive Weather Satellite Shortwave Radiation Map, aka the cloud layer when it's too dark to see it with the visible satellite. There's the water vapor map. Again, the cloud layer. The U.S. Doppler radar. Cloud layer. And water vapor. And that's today's meteorology segment. Nothing stinks about that. Bye-bye, Twitch. We'll see you next time.